Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Independent Schools Equity and Access Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Sarah. I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items for you. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A, and we encourage you to use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenters at any time throughout the presentations. If you have questions to a particular institution, go ahead and list that school's name. That way our presenters can get to those questions a little bit quicker for you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Westtown. I'd now like to turn it to our first presenter, Bryn Mawr College.
Hi, everyone. It's so great to see all of you virtually. My name is Caterina Caras Flores, and I am an admissions counselor at Bryn Mawr College. So to get started, here we go. There we go. So Bryn Mawr is located in suburban Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. So we are a women's college and also a liberal arts college. So we have about 1,400 undergraduate students from about 44 states and 46 countries. And in terms of diversity reflected in the student body, 21% are international students, 32% are students of color, and then 19% are first generation students. In addition, I forgot to mention that I am a recent Bryn Mawr alum, so I graduated in 2020, so I'll add some personal tidbits to that as well. But in terms of academics, so since we are a liberal arts college, most of our classes are very, very small. We have an 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and some of our popular majors, I feel like these majors really encompass the liberal arts experience, but our top 5 majors are math, psychology, English, biology, and computer science. So we also award 2.6 times the national average of degrees awarded to women in STEM. So at Bryn Mawr, students are redefining the definition of what it means to be a woman in society, but also what it means to be a woman in STEM. And I think that's really important to show that at Bryn Mawr, students are given those resources to succeed. In addition, we have about 35 majors and more than 50 minors and concentrations to choose from. So one of my favorite things about Bryn Mawr was being able to make it as big or as little as I wanted it to be. And you're probably wondering, what does that mean? So actually, Bryn Mawr has partnerships with other colleges in the area. So we have partnerships with Haverford College, Swarthmore College, and the University of Pennsylvania. You can actually only major in anything at Haverford. You can only major in linguistics at Swarthmore, but you can take as many classes and participate in extracurricular activities at each of the institutions. And students really love taking advantage of the University of Pennsylvania. In addition, we have about 90 different pre-approved study abroad programs. So study abroad is a very big part of the Bryn Mawr experience. About a third of our students will decide to go to study abroad. In addition, we have smaller study abroad programs called 360 course clusters, which are basically 3 different classes that you take during a semester that highlight a specific theme, and they also include a travel component. So some students will go to Mexico, some students will go to Japan, and it really just depends on what classes are being offered and what the subject area is. For example, for students who want to go to Japan, there's a meditation mindfulness 360. Students really love that one. In addition, focusing more on campus, we have about 100 plus different clubs and organizations. Students really love taking advantage of the different organizations that we have on campus, and we have a lot of different affinity groups that reflect the student body. In addition, we are a Division III sports institution, so we have about 12 different sports teams, but I would say sports aren't the center of focus on campus, but it's just like a nice addition to the campus community. So kind of talking more about like internships and other opportunities, off campus, I would say when I was a student at Bryn Mawr, I really appreciated just how there was a wide range of different opportunities for me to take advantage of. I remember going to our Career and Civic Engagement Center and just really feeling supported in trying to find what types of jobs to take advantage of, when I graduated. So about 79% of students held an internship during that time at Bryn Mawr. And actually, that was still the same percentage of students who had an internship during the pandemic. So I think that's really important to mention that even though there's a global pandemic, students really took advantage of the different opportunities available to them or really sought out those opportunities as well. In addition, let's say you do decide to get an internship and you realize that, wait, It's not PAVE. So we actually have about $750,000 available in summer funding for students. And I think that's just really important to mention that students are able to be funded, for the different experiences that they have. And finally, 97% of students have a positive career outcome 1 year after graduation. At Bryn Mawr, because students are the center of attention, especially because we're a women's college, you really feel like your needs are always being met and your priorities are, at the top of everyone's list, which I think is really important to mention, especially in our Career and Civic Engagement Center. They really do a great job, I think, of helping students find different careers related to their different passions and interests. And I really appreciate going to such a small school and also just a women's college that really prioritizes my needs. So on this slide, I usually talk about why I chose Bryn Mawr. So I mainly chose Bryn Mawr for the tight-knit sense of community that we have on campus, but also the really unique traditions that we have. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to talk about them in depth, but one of my favorite ones is Lantern Night, where students receive an actual little lantern. It's very, very heartwarming, and you receive a lantern based on your class color. And I think students really appreciate Lantern Night just because of how empowering it really is to go through that ceremony. But I also really appreciated my experience going to a women's college because I felt empowered in my education. And I think for students who are looking at a women's college, feel free to reach out to the Bryn Mawr College Office of Admissions. But then for financial aid, even though I'm not a financial aid officer, I can talk very briefly about financial aid. So at Bryn Mawr, we meet 100% of demonstrated need. So let's say the cost of attending Bryn Mawr is here and your family's contribution is here, we can meet whatever is in between. And Bryn Mawr also awards many different scholarships and grants to students, and we also offer work study, and some students will also take out loans. But yeah, if you want to learn more about Bryn Mawr, I will drop my email in the chat and a registration link for today's event. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Bryn Mawr College. Next up, we have Columbia University.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Rachel Taylor, and I'm an Associate Director of Admissions at Columbia University. I really look forward to presenting you all a little bit about Columbia, and I also hope that I can answer any questions you have in the Q&A box. So feel free to drop those throughout the session, and I'll be answering them as we go along. Columbia University is located in the city of New York and is comprised of about 15 different graduate and undergraduate colleges, serving 25,000 students and really more than 25,000 students. I'm going to focus today specifically on Columbia College, our liberal arts college with about 4,500 students, and Columbia Engineering, our engineering school with about 1,500 students. Columbia is located on the island of Manhattan, which in the language of the Lenni Lenape people is known as the Island of Many Hills. And we acknowledge that the Lenni Lenape and Wappinger people are members of our community throughout New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania today. As I mentioned, there are about 6,000 undergraduates in total at Columbia, and they are primarily all living and learning together on our campus in New York City. I love the shot where you can see the skyline in the background, but you can also see all of the green space and our lovely green roofs that really create a sense of home, a sense of place within New York City. 95% of our students live on campus all 4 years, and we do guarantee housing all 4 years. Our students hail from all 50 states and over 110 different countries. You can see that about 20% of them are international students, 17% are first in their family to attend college, and they are majoring in over 100 different areas of study. One of the hallmarks of an education at Columbia is something called the core curriculum, which is the set of courses that are required for all students to take prior to graduating. The core curriculum is going to ask students to read a lot of literature, talk about philosophy, art, music, and really these courses that are capped at about 25 students or fewer try to tackle some of life's biggest questions. What does it mean to be a good person? What does it mean to be a member of society? What is love? What is grief? How can we all be better? And the books that you see on your screen in front of you are many of the books that are required in the core curriculum. The core is a very traditional approach to a college education. It's going to ask students to learn to read and write and discuss with one another and present coherent arguments to their classmates. And it really is a great way to develop a ton of different skills, no matter what you're majoring in. I mentioned that Columbia is made up of Columbia College and Columbia Engineering. Our engineering school has a philosophy that we call engineering for humanity, which is this idea of a mission-driven engineering education. Our students are building playgrounds for physically disabled children that are being implemented in nearby areas. Our students are developing new fluorescent antibacterials being used during the Ebola crisis. There are a ton of different ways that our research and classroom initiatives are targeting real world problems in the engineering school. Of course, you're doing all of this with some of the best faculty in the world. We have a 6-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and over 80% of classes at Columbia have 20 students or fewer. These classes and these faculty are supported by over $1 billion in research funding. This is taking place at some of our research institutes, such as the Columbia Data Science Institute, the Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory, the Nevis Physics Laboratory. And so whether you want to study black holes or the Earth's core or the history of Shakespeare, there's going to be all kinds of faculty members who can support you with that. And of course, they're teaching at an undergraduate institution, and so they're interested in dedicating time to the undergraduate student experience as well. All of this is happening in the greatest city on earth, New York. Our students are able to enjoy many of the resources of New York City, including access to cultural opportunities. Our students enjoy free access to over 30 museums across the 5 boroughs. Reduced price tickets to Broadway shows. You can go see Hamilton for as little as 20 or 30 bucks. And our students are also involved on campus in over 500 student-run clubs and organizations and 31 NCAA Division I teams. We have a long history of activism on our campus. We have the oldest Black student organization at a non-HBCU. We also have the oldest queer student organization on a college campus, which we're really proud of. In New York, our students are enjoying professional opportunities. Maybe you want to intern at Goldman Sachs, Google, Vogue magazine, the American Museum of Natural History, the United Nations. These are some of the very real places that our students have interned. Over 95% of our students have at least one internship prior to graduating. Finally, I want to end with a note on affordability. I want to encourage you all to take a look at our website to learn more about how Columbia can be affordable for you and your family. We review all applications in a need-blind, need-based manner, and we're committed to meeting 100% of demonstrated financial need. Thank you all so much for your attention, and I look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Franklin and Marshall College.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So my name is Christine Cahill, and I will be sharing with you more about Franklin and Marshall College. So we are located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and we are what I call a small, large town, but very much a city and growing every day. There's so much new stuff coming in, and you really start to sense a real vibe in our area. In Lancaster, Pennsylvania, you're going to see that there is definitely going to be more of an arts vibe compared to some of the different areas where we are located in Pennsylvania. Franklin and Marshall is a small liberal arts college. We boast about 2,400 students, and we work with only undergraduate students. So as our prime focus, you have the benefit of not having to compete with graduate students or doctoral students for those all-encompassing, very important outside of the classroom, hands-on experiences, internships. But for our students, a lot of it has to do with research opportunities. Franklin and Marshall students are curious by nature. It's one of the things I think that makes them stand out in helping us find out if you're the right fit for us and if you're the right fit for you is curious by nature. Our students love to learn when they ask questions, when they're whying something. The reason they're asking is because they're trying to figure it out. They want to solve issues, they want to solve problems. So they're going to be extreme independent learners as well. They love going above and beyond the classroom assignments. Just as much as our professors are challenging our students are challenging our professors in and outside of the classroom. So it can be a lot of fun watching our students grow, because so do we as an institution. As our students learn and thrive, we're learning alongside with them. So we have a lot to offer them. And how do we do it? I think one of the things that really helps Franklin and Marshall students succeed is our size. With 2,400 students, we really can put the focus on the student learning. So we do offer some strong, rigorous, challenging courses for our students, and they live for it. And there is a wide range of courses for the students to choose from. We have over 60 areas of study, and the students, you're going to see majority of Franklin and Marshall students are double majoring and single minoring, but there are also opportunities for students who there's just more that they want to learn. There's more disciplines that are going to work together to move them forward. We'll sit down with them as a team. If it's 4 different disciplines that you believe are really going to propel you in your future, you're going to receive an advisor in each of those disciplines. And then as a team, you sit down, you pick out all the courses that are most appropriate for you. And then you actually end up creating your own unique program before you graduate 4 years with us. So one of the big standouts to our campus is that it's not one size fits all philosophy. It's one size fits one education on our campus. And because of our size, not only can our faculty really focus in on our students, but so can we, the professional staff. So we're always working with our students to make sure that we're offering them what they need. And another thing that's key, though we're rigorous, we are a selective institution, it is all about collaboration on our campus. It's about our community. It's about our family. So it is not about the individual succeeding. It's about our students succeeding as a class, as a community, as a whole, whether it be Franklin and Marshall on our campus or Franklin and Marshall outside of our campus in all the different local areas that they're out working in, doing research at. So we're always constantly trying to find ways to work alongside with others, because without each other, we're not going to be able to be successful. And due to that, we actually see some really exciting outcomes for our students. Average classroom size is about 17 students. So there is no back corner or area to hide in or fall asleep in our classrooms. You are expected to participate. We wouldn't have a classroom without you. So we want to make sure that you're engaged and that you're learning something with us. 9-to-1 students to faculty. So you're really getting to know your professors in, but also more importantly, outside of the classroom, where we do see that there is a real relationship that develops with our students. There's a bond for our students. So they get really excited to have these opportunities, and it's very heartwarming. Family is a key component on our campus. So on the weekends, you're actually going to see our professors and professional staff bringing their family onto campus, allowing our students to have those opportunities to meet more about our professors, where our students then feel a little bit more comfortable sharing more about themselves personally. So it gets really exciting for our students. We have 5 college houses on our campus, and this is really, really unique, I think, for us, and our students get really excited about this. You're sorted into one of our 5 houses on campus, and then you are a member of that house all 4 years while with Franklin and Marshall. So each house has a personality, it has a common theme, and it draws students from all different disciplines. So though you're being attracted by, for example, sustainability, you're coming at sustainability from all different walks of academics, angles, perspectives. So it really brings this really engaging moment for the students. And it actually creates that first base of friends, that first core group. And then as you get to know each other, you start to feel more comfortable with one another, you start to develop more closer relationships and move out of that. And then another important part for us is OSPGAD, the Office of Student and Postgraduate Development. They are what some campuses will call the career office. They work with our students from day one, helping them expand all parts of their lives. So we really have that engagement with them. And about 90% of our students from year 1 to year 4 are taking full advantage of this office. And then we are a Common App school, coalition. These are some of our deadlines. And if you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would be more than glad to help you. And if I can't help you, I'll direct you on to the person that would be best able to help you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have University of Richmond.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Perfect. And let me open the slideshow. Awesome. So real quick, guys, my name is Jose Garcia. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions for Diversity, Outreach, and Partnerships here at the University of Richmond. Real quick, high 30,000 level view. Just a little bit about us. We are a nationally ranked top academic school in the country. You see some of the things we offer our students, not only being 100% demonstrated needs school, which means we offer very generous financial aid packages, but what we offer our students while they're on campus. And we talk about our embrace of diversity in all sense of the word, and I'll get into everyone from there. But real quick, our location, love being that we're in the state capital of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. We're 6 miles from downtown Richmond. Richmond's about 1.5, 1.8 million people, the most diverse city in the state of Virginia. This is actually an aerial view of our campus, but you see just our location. We're 2 hours south of DC. We're 2 hours from the beach, 2 hours from the mountains. Love this fact the city is an up and coming city in the nation. It's got 7 Fortune 500 companies, just like Wells Fargo, Capital One, tons of restaurants, lots of histories happen here, but just a great place to have a college. So great college town, but again, being the state capital, being a true suburban, we are 6 miles. So great, that chance to go see downtown, go see everything, but a chance to sneak back. But for us, we're about 3,200 students, undergraduate. We do have our own grad school and law school. I love to say we're not a medium, we're not a small, we're kind of a schmedium kind of school. For us, 90% of our kids do live on campus all 4 years. We do guarantee housing for all 4 years. You can have a car on campus. Love saying we have top 10 dining services in the nation, so you're gonna get that awesome food here. For us, we do focus on mental health. We're one of the few universities in the nation that have a well-being center. It's basically a center focused on mental health, not only with therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, but then we go a step above. We have a healthy kitchen where you can get healthy meals, a demonstration kitchen where we can teach you to make healthy meals within your dorm. We have connected to the fitness center, and then we have meditation salt rooms, therapy dogs, massages, everything you think of just to make sure we know that mental health is a key component there. For us, we love making sure that when I say 90% of our kids live on campus all 4 years, it's awesome because you have that campus community, that family environment, something we love to embrace. But we talk about all the time, we want you to work hard. We also want you to play hard. And play hard means being involved. We have over 180 different clubs and organizations here at the University of Richmond, and those range from fun clubs, academically based. About 30% of our campus does Greek life. I love saying we're the only spider in the nation with our mascot. We have 17 Division I sports. If you want to be active but not on a D1 team, we have club sports, we have intramurals. A lot of our kids do give back. About 70% of our kids do some sort of service within the city of Richmond itself or community service. And like I said, just a lot for you guys to do. The average student does 3 to 4 clubs in their lifetime. For us, academically speaking, when you guys walk in, you're actually going to be undeclared and you're like, wait, I know what I'm doing. Reason for that is, guys, you do follow liberal arts curriculum. You're going to take foundational courses your first year. And secondly, you might discover a new passion. So you have 3 colleges to choose from. One, you have the School of Arts and Science. So traditionally, like your pre-law, your pre-health, which most people know is pre-med. You have your history, psychologies, all of those blended in there. We have a Robbins School of Business, just nationally ranked business school. And then you have one school that's very unique. We're the first university ever to have one. It's the Jepson School of Leadership Studies, where we take leadership skills both internally and or externally and either connect them to a current career track or we get you ready for a job that may not exist. The example, YouTube influencers. No one knew that job 10 years ago, but we were getting students ready for that job. And what I love about this, I talk about diversity, educational diversity. You need to be multiverse. You need to think more than one way. So 2/3 of our kids will actually graduate with 2 or more degrees. And I love this. You can crisscross colleges. So you can be arts and science and business, leadership studies and arts and science, whatever you can think of, we have that for you right here. I think it's an awesome thing. One thing we talk about is giving you resources while you're on campus to not only be successful while you're here, but after you leave. Not just have a great 4 years, but have an even better 40 years. Something we do that I've not seen any other university do, called the Richmond Guarantee. We guarantee every student at least one summer, if not multiple summers, up to $4,000 in a grant, not a loan, but a grant to do whatever you want career path-wise. So maybe it's an internship somewhere where you live, but they're not paying you, pay yourself. Maybe it's an internship somewhere around the country, around the world. They are paying you, they're not paying for your housing, pay for your own housing. Maybe it's research. This is the chance for you to take advantage of these experiences because we know grad schools, law schools, med schools, that first job, once you have these experiences before you take on that first opportunity. And I said at least one summer, most of our students take advantage of 2, if not 3 summers. The other thing we're proud of is we want you to embrace culture. We want you to embrace the world. So we are the second most studied abroad school in the nation. 67% of our kids will go abroad either for a summer, a semester, a year, a 2-week trip, or a break. Anytime you can get away, we want you to get away. We have a couple programs that are really unique to this. One, we do have a passport program where we actually will pay for your passport to make sure you get to go study abroad. Two, every time you study abroad, we give you $1,000 cultural grant. And that cultural grant is being used for restaurants, museums, train trips, anywhere you can embrace the culture of that country. You're not restricted by major. You're not restricted by language. You can start going spring of your freshman year. And again, you can do this multiple times. And there is funding for students. Over 80% of our kids will get some sort of funding. I love saying that our campus is just a glimpse of society, and it comes from where our kids are coming from. This is our freshman class coming in. We are only 16% from the state of Virginia. We are from everywhere across the board. 43 states, 36 different countries, very diverse racial and ethnically. 29% of our incoming class identified as students of color, 11% international, 14% identified as first-generation college students or the first in their family to try to attempt to get a 4-year degree. But this gives you a glimpse of what society is going to be like. You being able to interact with people from not just different parts of the country, different cultures, different races, ethnicities, and this is what it's like to work from there. And then for us guys, we definitely want to make sure that looking at us, we're a very holistic school, gives you from that aspect. And not only guys, some of the application rounds, but I want to talk to you guys about the money we give our students, not just from financial aid, but from different scholarships, from academics to athletics, music, theater, and dance, everything across the board. And finally, guys, if you guys want to get more information, this is my contact information. Please feel free to get a hold of me, guys. Thank you guys for giving me time to this. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the Q&A.
Thank you so much. At this time, I'd like to invite all of our presenters to join me back on screen for what we call here our round robin Q&A. So the first question, and we'll go in the order of which we presented. So starting with Bryn Mawr College, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
That's a great question. I would say, as someone who recently, I graduated from college in the spring of 2020, and kind of looking back on what I wish I knew was, I wish I was able to chat with more current students at a specific school. I think whenever you have the chance to like visit a school in person or virtually, I recommend that you really chat with the students and maybe ask them the questions that maybe you're afraid of asking an admissions counselor, because I totally understand, you know, being in that place where it's like, I don't know if I want to ask the admissions counselor about like what party life is like. I'm not sure, but I think chatting with students really gives you a good picture of what the school environment is like, and just feeling like if this community is right for you.
Columbia University.
Yeah, I love that tip about engaging with students more. I think that's great advice. I would say my advice is that for those of you who are seniors right now, just sort of take a breath and remember that most of what we're going to be evaluating has already happened. And so for now, it's just time to like compile in a lovely application and sort of send it out into the universe with, you know, good luck and best wishes. You know, your activities have already happened, your grades have already happened. Stressing about it isn't going to change anything. And so just take a breath and sort of trust that you'll end up where you're meant to be. The older I get, the more I realize that where you went to college is not who you are. And I think that that's the best piece of advice we can give about college searching.
Franklin and Marshall College.
Absolutely. Both are such key parts to this. Taking that mental moment for yourself. You've done so much, and to celebrate where you are as seniors and juniors, to see that the seniors are surviving. After all of this, they are surviving. You are going to survive as well. We've just lived through a crazy world and we're at the tail end of it. So know that there's going to be a lot to offer you. I'm also going to encourage you, when you have the opportunity to visit the school, and because of the world that we're coming out of, we have really enhanced virtual visits. So you do also have those opportunities to meet with students or the school from home. But when you have that opportunity to physically go to the campus, please take those opportunities. For many of you, you might have a lot of colleges local to you, big schools, small schools, public schools, private schools. Take advantage of your backyard and start exploring what academic environments are best for you. And then as you find the schools that you are excited about, and when you can, then make your way to their campuses. But you do have some opportunities locally. And if you don't, take the advantage of the virtual experiences as well. And then when you can get to their campuses, explore their surrounding area, go off campus and see what they have to offer you. Check out the food scene. Are they foodies? Are they, what is there for you to do outside of the campus? Because there are going to be times when you do want to walk off campus and kind of experience, the outside world. So,
University of Richmond.
My one advice is, this is going to have a real moment for y'all, but for my students in the room, you guys want to be treated like adults. Here's your adult moment: deadlines. Okay, staying on top of your deadlines, guys. This is something that's big, because you got to understand that schools will have deadlines, so turning in documents, applications, getting stuff situated, everything that nature. A lot of it has gone to the online and portals, everything that nature. But stay on top of your deadlines, guys. That's a big thing, because the worst thing that can happen, we all as admissions officers have seen this, is that you apply, you get your stuff in, and all of a sudden you come back to us and you're like, oh my God, my application got turned off or got canceled or anything that nature. What happened? And we're like, you forgot to send this in, you forgot to do that. Always make sure, guys, stay on top of that. Make sure to send transcripts out. Stay on top of your financial aid documents, guys. If you're doing FAFSA, some schools require CSS profiles, making sure you're getting all that, guys. And again, just have patience throughout this process. And I say this patience in the sense of have patience with yourself, but have patience with people around you, guys. There's going to be a lot of information to be given to you, a lot of advice out there. Guys, I know you lived a full life. I know it's been a lot, 16, 17, 18 years. That's a long life. But there's people out there that have lived a little bit longer. So make sure to listen to them, guys, to take advantage of the information they're giving you, because they're out there to help you guys. But have patience. But big thing, stay on top of your deadlines.
So starting again with Bryn Mawr College, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school?
I would say one thing I would like students to remember about specifically Bryn Mawr College would definitely be the unique traditions that we have and how they really define what it means to be a woman in society. Like, I think Bryn Mawr students really are redefining those gender stereotypes, and I think that because of our traditions and our strong and tight-knit community, it really just shows, I think, prospective students, how much of a family the college environment is, especially at Bryn Mawr. And I think, I really appreciated the traditions when I was a current student, and it really made me feel like that, like what I'm saying is true, to prospective students when I was a tour guide. So I would say our traditions and our sense of community.
Columbia University.
Yeah, I would want people to remember our diverse community within New York City. And if you're looking for an energetic place with people from all over the world speaking dozens of languages from all different backgrounds in the United States, then you're going to find that at Columbia in that residential college community as well.
Franklin and Marshall College.
So one thing I would love for students to remember about Franklin and Marshall is the two big E's that we have on our campus: exploration and experimentation, when it comes to your coursework, your academic interest, but also your outside interest, and how they all influence you and your next 4 years on campus. And that we are what we jokingly but not so jokingly say, the F and Emily. We are a true community of family, and that we respect one another. We hear one another, and we want to be able to hear all voices. So to know that you mean something to us always.
University of Richmond.
Here at Richmond, we always talk about embracing diversity, equity, inclusion, talking about with diversity, it's number, with inclusions in action. And you'll see those actions from our university, not only through our population, not only through our recruitment, but you can see it through the resources on campus. You'll see it what we're going to make sure to help you out. But we're going to give you the chance to be yourself, to be the spider that you are meant to be. And I always say this though, being a spider is unique, but there's so many different kinds of spiders out there that everybody gets to be their own spider on campus.
So our last question, and we'll start again with Bryn Mawr College. What is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process?
That's a really tough question. I would say sometimes I've met students who are like, I've been told that you just have to submit information on the Common App and you don't really have to put in effort to it. And I've told them that is not true. You really need, you are applying to college, you really need to prepare your application. Definitely have someone take a look over it, before you submit anything. I think it's better to be prepared than not. And I think now, especially because everything is virtual, really take advantage of, chatting with the admissions counselor of your territory and hearing what, the different requirements are needed for the application. Like, just really take the time to prepare your application, and don't just think that if you apply, it will work out. It might, but it's really good to just put in all your effort into it.
Columbia University.
A lot of students ask, how do I get in, or what is the best path to admission? And I'd really like to debunk the idea that there's one thing that we're looking for. All of our colleges need artists and activists and athletes, and some students who are a little bit of all three of those things, but most students who are just one or two. And so there's no one path to admission at any university. And it really is about being yourself and doing what you really care about and becoming the person who you are. And so that's something I'd love to challenge when students ask about that.
Franklin and Marshall College.
That we admissions representatives are human. We are not computer software set out to look for just numbers to cut you at the knees when it comes to our admissions review. And our goal is not to say no. Our goal is to help you find that right fit and academic environment for you. So at times, yes, a no will have to be said, but because it was the right decision at that point. And that one other thing, and I'm going to put my ex-high school college counselor on, every college and university does not have a set seat for every high school globally, that if you are the right fit for that institution, they are going to accept you. There aren't cap limits for schools when it comes to institutions. So I used to get that all the time. Why bother applying? 10 other kids have applied. I don't have a shot. You do. You never know who they're looking for that academic year. So take that leap of faith and trust in yourself.
University of Richmond.
I'll get a little specific. When it comes to the personal statement, your essay, you shouldn't write this essay because we don't want to read it. That is a huge myth, guys. Please write about what you're passionate about, what's impacted you, what's affected you. Guys, there is no yay or nay essay. It is literally that, guys. So if you hear people from stories say, you shouldn't write about this or that because they don't want to read it, stop it. Guys, write about what really tells us about you, because in some cases, this might be the only time we get to know you as a person. So really give us that insight, that glimpse into who you are through your essay, through your supplemental essays. But again, do not think I can't write about this. It is your choice. Please, guys, give us that story from you.
Well, I want to thank our wonderful presenters for their insight, their information on their institutions today. And thank you all for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check the schedule and sign up for more sessions. And you'll be able to find this sessions recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/Westtown. Thank you and have a great rest of the day.